Hey everybody, so I'm AJ Nolan, and I'm just going to talk you through how I use Google Drive as my course home instead of Blackboard, and specifically how I'm using that for English 101 for this. But I do use this format for all my classes. So you'll see my Blackboard page is very minimal for this class. I've deleted pretty much everything except for the students can still come here if they want to get email or to look at their grades. I do all my grading still, like I enter all my grades into Blackboard so they can keep up to date with those. But the main thing here is this link, which is a web link, which brings them right to the course home. And so the students will use that maybe in their first week, but I'll also have added all of them as people that I've shared the course with. And I'll send out an email to all the students with a link to that. And I'll teach my first lesson of the semester on how to use Google Drive, and mostly how to also to find the course folder in their shared with me file and how to move that into their My Drive so they can get to it easier. And then after that, most of my students don't use the Blackboard for my class at all, except for looking at their grades. All right, so this is what my course folder looks like. This is housed within, my fall 2020 course folders, which looks like this, and then in there I have all my classes, and so I've grouped my 101 and 110 together in the same folder. And so here is where all of my my lesson plans will be, and my class roster, and my any sort of daily sort of grading that I'm doing that doesn't go first on Blackboard. So anything that I need for the class that my students don't need to see quite yet, or need to see ever. So in there, in the course home, this is what the students see when they land on the class. I keep it pretty minimalistic. I have the course syllabus and then a few folders, and that's it. And so the syllabus that I have created is a pretty dynamic syllabus. So I used the same template that everybody received for this class, and then I've just adapted it. So here I will be adding a link for the class meetings that are going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then here is the Zoom link for my office hours. And so this will basically end up looking just like that. So they'll have two links available to them on this page for Zoom. So then you'll notice that there's hyperlinks here. So this will bring them right to here, to syllabus. And then after they've already read the syllabus, they understand the syllabus, they'll always be able to click on this to bring them to the second half of this document, which is the detailed schedule with all the pertinent instructions and links and hyperlinks that they'll need. But we're gonna take a slow route there just at first. So I followed the same basic formatting that Christy's template gave. I did, add in my little section. This is how it looks like in all my syllabi, so that it looks the same in 110. So I try to keep things looking as similar as I can for my students. And so one thing that's different in this is that I will hyperlink the assignment sheets when I have them available. So I haven't made these yet, but this when clicked on, will bring you right to the writer's progress plan that I made for this. And you'll see as I'm here, one of the things that I like Google Drive for as far as assignments sheets go is that they give you a way to easily embed hyperlinks and have the assignment sheet be interactive. So I could have a video embedded on here. I have several of the different readings that my students do about how to create good SMART goals for their writing process. And so I have everything that they need to have is all right here. So all of the assignment sheets will eventually have a link like that. And then here's the descriptions and everything, just like everybody has. But then another thing that I do is I really embed a lot of hyperlinks throughout the syllabi. So when I'm discussing plagiarism and the honor code, I have links that are pertinent for that. Same with educational accessibility. And also, I always pretty much combine together the idea of educational accessibility and the idea of how to ask for help for any reason other beyond, a documented difference. So I have links to all like the big pertinent areas there. My students really have told me that they appreciate how I keep things like embedded within. I embed links within all my different documents, including my syllabus. So that gets me to the second part, which if I use the hyperlink for it, I would jump straight to this, which is the detailed schedule with instructions and hyperlinks. And so right here is the overview of what I intend the semester to look like, but this might change, as we all know, and so I make a note this is subject to change, but this will allow the students to look forward and see the basic plan for the semester. And then the other thing I have, before going straight into the actual detailed schedule, is what groups the students will be in. And I do these according to alphabetical order, and so that way it's easier for grading. And I do I'm doing groups of 3 because it allows enough students to be in a group with one another to have like meaningful interaction, especially if one member does not, show up some week or another. And also they're going to have the same groups within 110 with the addition of a couple, extra peer members that are not taking the 101. So they'll see their names there, and so they'll have that. So then here are the hyperlinks for going to the week that's pertinent. So just looking at week 1 for 101, I cover this is what's going to be covered in class, and I also let them know that I will record and post the Zoom sessions for each class after the class is done. And so if they've missed a class, they enroll late, for any reason they want to watch a class session but not live, they'll have that ability to do that there. Then for Thursday, this is the homework they have due for Thursday. And so again, I just embed whatever I want them to read directly in there. And then I give them the instructions of what I want them to actually post about, and then the in-class instructions for Thursday are as such, again with the hyperlinks all there. So it's really easy to use. All right, so that's the basic way of how that looks. I'm going to go to actually my English 300 class that I taught over the summer. So this is what a more fleshed out version looks like. So you see all the videos, and then the readings, and then the writing assignments and reflections that they had to do, like so. And then often on Thursdays, I also add they had to do like commenting on each other's work in very specific ways. And so that's how it ends up being looking fleshed out. I usually don't have 6 videos for a week. This is because this is a summer class, so it's compressed, and it was asynchronous, so a lot of it had to be video. All right, so as an example of what it looks like when the students are responding to that, and I'll show you the folder that I use for this in a second. This is like what student responses look like, and so they start out up here. Let's see up here. I get to the student's name. So Alyssa posted her name here, and then you'll see that all of these comments were made. And sometimes, like here, one student made a comment, and then Alyssa responded to it. She did that a lot throughout here. And I can jump in with the conversations just like the students, and we're all like weighted equally along that, which I think is important for composition for any classes, for students, and emphasizing the students learning from one another. And so that's one of the key reasons why I like to use Google Drive for this is because of the ease for commenting. So as far as how all of that is set up, again, looking back into the 101 folder, you'll see there are the work groups. And so in the work groups, they click on that and they'll see their group name, and I'll also list their name as part of their group, just like first names with part of the group, to make it easier for them to remember what group they're in. But that group name is also listed in numerous places. And then ultimately, when they go in their group folder, they'll have the working journal, which is where they're going to do the majority of their work. But then I'll also create a folder for different rough drafts. So when they have the rough draft of the writer's process plan due for a peer review, they'll have a folder where they all post their individual ones in there. And that way it makes it easier for the students to comment on each other, and for them to then take that commented thing and turn it into the polished document that they then submit to me. So that's the way that works. And let's see. Okay, and so then the last two folders that are in here are for major assignments and for their personal submission portfolio folders. And so again, under major assignments, every assignment will have its own assignment sheet. If I have multiple documents, supporting documents for the assignment sheet, well then that'll be in here as a folder in of itself. And that way I can group that. But for here, most often it's just a single assignment sheet, because I have all those hyperlinks embedded. That will work. And then I have their personal submission and portfolio folders. And so once I populate this, they'll see, their personal folder in there. And so it'll end up looking like this, an example from one of my 200 level classes. And so each one of these folders, I then change the sharing so it is just with that student, and so nobody else can see it. And so I'll share that folder with them individually at the beginning of the semester with that link. And again, I'll have taught them how to then move that from their shared with me into their drive. And I just find this the cleanest way to organize this. But you can, of course, use whatever technique you like. And so the key thing is that as the semester goes on, the folders here, so major assignments, everybody has access to view that. Personal submission, it's individual access. Work groups, everybody has access to edit, is how these various permissions work. And then at the end of the semester, it's just this folder here that I share with Jen and whoever needs to be able to see the portfolio folders. So that is pretty much it. I will be available for the Q&As, and so I welcome any questions that you have about this, or ideas that you want to float past me, anything at all. I am happy to take on. All right, so good luck with your course prep, and I will see you online.